Okay, friends, we're risking our lives here. This is Casein glue. This is, is that still wet enough? Slaked Casein alone. This is Casein with, I put some water in there, good, with lime. Here's the slaked lime. We can mix some more. Let's see if we fall over. This has been in the refrigerator for 2 weeks. Not bad. Let's get a good mixing brush. Here. Mixing brush. What is this? Number 4 Bright that has seen better days. Let's see if we can bring this back to life. Well, I'm looking to make cracked mud today. So maybe some tired case. Ooh, this is nice and nice and chunky. Yay. Let's see if we can't have something that will yield chunky mud. Everybody wants everything smooth and perfect. We're looking for natural mud as it exists in Padilla Bay. This is not going to work. This is too chunky. We may have to start over again. But I'd be tempted to know if this still works. If it's been 2 weeks in the refrigerator, it's not very promising. Better part of valor? No part of valor. Let's get rid of this and start over again. Have leveled up the table rudimentarily, but I'm telling you, troops, painting in this style without leveling up your table is reprehensible. Who could possibly hope to get good results if you don't even know if your table is level? You'll have the paint sitting, waiting for it to do something particular, only to discover that it has moved off to a different part of the table, different part of the plate. And you could have avoided that. My good level is not here. Looks like I've got bubbles. I'm sure there are whole books written on how not to get bubbles, but we want bubbles. Let's see if we can get them all in the same place. We want everything the paint has to offer that they warn you about in the books. Don't use Casein in a wash. It's unpredictable. What could be better news? Okay, this is quite thick. This is really rich and beautiful. Coming down here. Okay, are we on the board evenly? I believe we are. So I have actually a shape here which I hadn't intended, but that'll happen. Let's see if we can get these bubbles to move about so that they help us in this. This is really a new one for me. Okay, this is unlikely over here. I don't want any surprises at the edges. Come on, come over. Okay, there we go. I got to be careful with that brush. I don't want the glue to dry on it. That would be very annoying. There would be no bringing it back. So, how can we direct the bubbles? I'll bet if I hit them, they'll be gone. Yeah, too bad. How can we They're not bad though. I don't know if you can see them. The light is reflecting for me to see. We've got sun coming, so we ought to be able to get a little bit faster drying. Many of the casein effects that I achieved were done in the desert, where drying was so fast it took your breath away. We're back with the results of shameless experimentation. We do not have good adhesion. I am reminded that this casein and lime was to sit overnight. We mixed it up fresh and slapped it on there. I'm trying a little 400 grit to see if I can make sure that everything that is going to... We got a crack, but not a good one. Look at this. Look at this. It's pulled up. It's still rather... It's pulled up here, too. It's rather firm, but it's pulled up. Oh, here's a fabulous crack. Look at that. I'm also hoping that if we let this sit overnight, that we won't have Bubble City here. If you listen to classical oil painters talk about bubbles in their rabbit skin glue, they are horrified. Look at this. It is cracking. There is hope for this. And my attempted scratched in cracks, it looks like the pustules on a Harkonnen with stitches, or like we tried to bury someone. I don't know, but these cracks, is this sound? Ooh, anyway, I just don't want insta-flaking. This may never see the market. Where we tried to do striations up here, I had to come in at the end with a comb, literally the comb I use on... We won't talk about that, but I cleaned it very well afterwards because I was pretty horrified. So we have... You just have to be careful with sanding, because if you're working in washes with casein, it will... Every little bit of... Look at this flake off, and it's where it was thin. Every little bit of striation will come home to greet you. This is not sound painting. I have some striations, but mostly I have foolishness. Nevertheless, this is an experiment board. Let's keep working. I've chosen two different blues to see if we can get something that looks like water. Cobalt blue will come apart into a texture very quickly. It's the most volatile of the blues in that case. Now we're working with Shiva casein, which does not cure immediately hard. It gives us, up here in the Northwest, days to mess around. So we're going to put cobalt blue in here. These are my blue brushes. Cobalt blue you'll get out, but the other one, we're going for full danger. We're going to use some of Shiva's proprietary Permasol blue, the blue of the ages. It will, in great dilution, give you a green. Look how purple it is, but in great dilution it goes green. So fun, but I've got plastic over the table. If this gets on the table, I will never get it off. This is the stuff that sticks on the brushes. So Shiva casein, designed not to go bad, designed to keep for the painter. Wonderful. 1933. So this will be my, which is going to be my more distant blue. I'd like for the foreground to be the Permasol. This is going to take some dilution. Let's use two brushes here. Two mixing brushes. This one will do the cobalt for us. First time I saw a cobalt texture, I thought I was doing a clear blue sky, watercolor style. I rolled it around, let it probably even jolted it a couple of times, turned around my back on it, and when I turned back, it looked like a photograph of the ocean. I just sat down with a thump. I didn't know what to think. This is way too... You know what we've got? Let's throw some extra emulsion in here. This is Fayette. It's been sitting around for 7 years. I haven't done any painting in 7 years. Notice how it's setting up around the edges. They used to sell this in pints. I always had a pint on hand, and then all of a sudden they became unavailable in pints. It was the time when Shiva was purchased by a paint distributor. In the 90s, I attempted to get a pint of emulsion, and it was out of stock. I was stunned. I was afraid the paint was going to go out of manufacture. Then it was bought by Jack Richardson, bless their hearts, and they are keeping it for us. Okay, this will give us good adhesion. We don't want to dilute it too much. We'll be without medium to make it really stick. What about what's going on over here? This is danger, danger, danger. Let's mix it up. We'll have both the cobalt and the... See, look at that green. A subtle green showing there. That's what I want for my foreground. And then we will wipe that off. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? All right, let's see what happens. Ideally, I would use an ultramarine blue in the distance, which seems to be the most common color that you get. All right. No fear. Here we go. Should stroke this on with a big brush. But this is the biggest blue brush I have, so there we are. I'm going to wet the board first, fearing what will happen. Look at all that damage to the undercoat. Ugh, there's chunks loose already. With Shiva Casein, you can... Oh, those striations are definitely there, though. If you're familiar with oil combed painted furniture. That's another fine old... What have we got? Oil on the edges here? Why isn't this sticking? Okay, we don't have to worry about perfection here because we can wipe it off. In cleaning up the edge, I'm bringing out the big guns. White pigmented shellac is soluble in ammonia, and so if you want to clean the edge, you can cut very slightly into the white pigmented shellac. She said bravely, and then it didn't really do much, did it? Yeah, a little bit better. Still distinctly blue. I like that. Maybe that's what I want for the center, where the wind is not ruffling the water. This made this worse. Good job. These edges can be subtle, though. Maybe I'll just let the center spill out over the edge. Skip my border. I don't know what to think of this. I'll paint an oar on there. There's a boat going by. You just can't see it. Typical, though, the sort of thing that these pigments will do if you disturb them in a wash. This is why you never use Casein in a wash. Unpredictable. Oh. It's starting to get really pretty down here. It's starting to really look like water, too. Okay, coming back soon. Let's add a little bit more medium here. I'm putting in the True Glue to a Shiva Casein mixture to see if by chance it becomes waterproof. I've seen some beautiful faux marbre, fake marble with the cracks painted on, but on the whole, painting on cracks looks terrible. Usually it doesn't work. Let's see if we can get some good brown in these cracks. And then wipe it off. The actual mud is much lighter than the water with the sun on it. Very beautiful. This is very much the color of the... Now here's the piece I glued on. I'm sure that's not dry. And we'll see what comes up. Chasing mud. Who would have thought? Never really an object of our painterly attention, but the intersection of water and land is something that will be changing, and it's impossible not to think about it. This is a good Grumbacher brush. Pardon me, Grumbacher. It'll have to be cleaned very carefully when we're done here. Generally, you don't want to use fine... Ooh, look at that bleed. Is that bleeding up into the blue? Generally, you don't want to use really fine brushes with Casein because it will, in the end, eat them. The lime is just so hard. Which, if you're really great with the brush stroke, means that you're going to have to wait till you're doing a decoration over the top. Perhaps in ink, where you can get your fabulous brushes out and really be a star. Will this be waterproof? Will this be waterproof? Sunday morning, neighbors are out in the backyard. Good for them. Ooh, I kind of like that. All right. And now the great removal. Always wanted... Moment of truth, people. I'm tired of the brushstroke revolution. Yes, it was wonderful when the old academic style was finally broken through and a brushstroke could show, and we could have such luminaries as Van Gogh showing us what the brush can do. But in the meantime, it's been 100 years. Maybe we could do something without brushstrokes. Now you know the real me. This is not coming off. So instead we're going to see rag marks. The collapsed bubbles are interesting. Let's leave a little bit of dark over there. Give ourselves some relief here. Yeah, but I'm losing my best guys. We'll leave ourselves a little less dark over there. Okay. This is not unlike what it looks like. Ha! This is not unlike what it looks like. Well, shoot. That was cheap thrills. Let's go on and do something else. Yeah, I've still got a little bit of brush, a little bit of rag mark in here. Can we get that off of there? Be careful. No, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. Look at that. That only took 3 weeks and much conjecture. Let's take a quick peek at this mud imitation. I just wanted to show you how it has developed over the past 3 weeks. It really looks like mud. It just blows my mind. It's such an interesting texture that was developed. However, let's see if we can get the cracks. There we go. It's pulling away from the board. Beautiful as it is, it's not sound painting. In addition to that, it's too easy to chip away here. This is all flaking away. So yes, we asked for a certain texture and we really got it, but we didn't get sound painting.